We may well be opening a Pandora's box here on Leaders and Legends. How do symbols and rituals assist in aligning your team, pulling your culture together, and going forward as one? Is it a Pandora's box, or maybe it's like Forrest Gump, where life is like a box of chocolates where you never know what you're going to get? We're going to speak to two different CEOs who have experienced some significant results with their application of the use of symbols and rituals. One is in the software business, Slingshot out of Louisville, Kentucky. So we're going to hear from David Galonia. But first, we're going to say hello to Craig Harder from Raptor Mining. We got software, we got hardware. And Craig, I want to begin with you because when I look at your industry, and what you do at Raptor Mining, you're in engineering, you're in manufacturing, you're in heavy duty stuff. This is one of the last industries or categories you would expect a CEO like yourself to wrap your head around and embrace symbols and rituals. So we'll start, Craig. How did you come across the idea in the first place? Because I know that symbols and rituals like GSD mean a lot at Raptor Mining.
How about a hot cup of GSD to start the day right?
You got it. Hey, thank you, Gare. Yeah, so we're definitely on the hardware side of the business, and really what we do is we work with mining and construction, and so with that we have engineers on staff, we have welders, we have mechanics, just a wide range and of very different types of people, and so. In our industry and in our manufacturing company, we needed something to create that alignment within our teams, because we have the mechanics working with the engineers, working with the welders, working with management, working with safety and quality and all aspects of the organization. And so it's really, that ritual and symbol for us is GSD. And GSD is something that creates alignment throughout our organization. It's something that creates habits. It allows us to create that alignment and focus on the task that needs to get done. So GSD is really about execution. There's a few aspects of GSD. We look at GSD standing for goal setting discussion, and you need to have that goal setting discussion before you GSD. And the other aspect of the GSD is getting shit done, of course. And so you can't do one without the other, and that's a big part of our of the whole mindset that we have at Raptor. And so it allows us, when we have that biannual 2 times a year goal setting discussion, I sit down with a lot of my staff and we look at where we are as a company within our industry, where the individual is within the company, where do they want to go, and that GSD, that goal setting discussion allows us to have that one-on-one and also create that alignment between me and my staff, and then them within the company and where they fit into it.
So just before we go to David, I want to ask you both the same question. At some point, whether it's the GSD buttons or it's the Raptor CMO that I met when you and I met the first time,
yes,
your alter ego, as it were, I want to know how both of you, starting with Craig and then David, what made you think that this was a good idea in the first place? Bring us back to your moment of reflection and your idea incubation, Craig, and then David, about why you thought it was a good idea to actually do this.
Well, yeah, and there he is right there. There's the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer at Raptor. And so Raptor, we have organizations throughout the world. So Edmonton, Alberta is our headquarters. However, we have operations throughout the United States, Canada, in Latin America, overseas in Asia. And having the CMO, that just, it really makes a connection within our staff, within our clients. It shows that we're just, we're all humans as well, and really creates that connection and alignment. And that's our goal all the time. And so We are just working with iron, just steel, and there's not a lot of our we're not in the software like Slingshot where the technology is advancing so fast. We're kind of in this heavy crude industry of welding and steel, and so what sets us apart is making that connection with our clients, and
Yeah,
the
but I still
CMO
want
helps
to,
with
Craig, I still want to know how'd you dream up the idea in the first place?
yeah,
Like,
you know
where did
what?
this all come from?
Yeah, you know what? It actually came from about 6 or 7 years ago. I wanted to have an outfit so I can go trick or treating with my kids, and it's really that simple. And so, one day I put this mask and gloves, and I said to my wife, I'm just going to go to work with this on one day, and she kind of stared at me and didn't say anything, and I did it, and just kind of made that connection with everybody, and the rest is history. Here we are. So
Yeah,
David, what about you? You've got a brand new mascot you've unleashed onto the world, but love to hear your thoughts on the idea of symbols and rituals.
well, absolutely. So, we're a software company, and people come to us with an idea, a company, an individual, an entrepreneur, and we have to kind of turn that into something that's real. So we have a lot of folks who are creative, and then we have engineers who are very technical, also creative, and then we have people who kind of bring all this together. And for us, there's a lot of competition in our industry. There's lots of other companies that build software, and in order, I think, for us to be successful, we have to stand out. We have to cut through the noise, and there's ways you can do that. You can talk about your process or whatever the products you're offering, but it can be difficult just because everybody's doing that. So for us, we wanted to create something that embodies who we are, and kind of make it fun, because that's part of our culture, is who we are. We are big kids and daredevils. That's who we are, and we have creativity, we have fun, and we don't want to be just another software company. And we want to be the best. So we had to find a way to put that out there that kind of cut through everything, and also really reflected who we were internally. So we created our mascot, Slingy. Slingy was just something we kind of talked about for the longest time. And
well, just before David, just before you go into the story of Slingy, I want to give you, and I want Craig and everyone watching to know this, that, when you and I met a couple years ago, I was struck instantly just by internally, your culture really does reflect that big kid and daredevil attitude. There was a lot of childlike wonder around the office. That was with the first impression. And you guys aren't afraid to have a little fun and be playful. But when I saw this video, this is what sparked the idea. The fact that you guys would create Slingy and then have competing origin stories, I think was just beyond brilliant. But weigh in on what went into the thinking behind Slingy and how this whole video came together.
Well, I think it was, Slingy. It's just we had this idea a long time ago, and we wanted to create something, and the whole team, I think, instantly got behind it, because it is who we are. We like to have fun. We're very creative, and we have a great culture. So all that comes together here, and this really was a team effort. You see those little stick figures going across the screen. This is all stuff our designers created. We came up with a concept. We had meetings, we talked about it. It was quite a process to do it, but the one thing that it was a ton of fun for everybody involved, and it was a lot of fun for the whole company. We have a lot of internal memes going around regarding Slingy, and it's just this fun thing that we talk about. All of our employees, any of them who have kids, have taken a baby Slingy home to their kids, and they play with it. And so it's just, for us, this story, we wanted to have an origin story. Every hero's got to have an origin story. So that was kind of the basis of this. And we were going to debate about, well, what's the story going to be? But then we said, okay, well, let's just come up with a bunch of different ones, and we'll kind of play that out. So everybody was involved, and that it just adds to who we are and the culture of what we do. And it's a huge, for us, it's just hugely important because people see this out there, and it's our culture. It's out there. You can see it. And that helps us attract talent because, it's in our industry, in tech, well, really everything right now, I feel like, but it's really hard to find good people, and you need to be something that's, you don't want to be this kind of dry image out there, because every company has something unique about it. I strongly believe every good company has some really powerful things. And I think you need a way to express those outwardly. And this is just a fun way to do it. It just let us be creative. It let us show our values. And of course, it was a lot of fun to do.
How much more significant, I'll start with Craig and then go back to you, David, but how much more significant is it to have an expanded digital footprint that doesn't just talk about having a great culture? So many companies, fellows, talk about having a great culture, but it's another situation entirely when you've got to, you sometimes now you're winning or losing during the research phase when people are Googling you and they're doing their online research. So Craig, maybe speak to that. And then David, about when people are in research mode, what do they want to be finding in terms of your digital footprint?
Yeah, I think, I mean, there's the video in question right there. I mean, in your background, Gary, I mean, people are researching and looking to see who we are, and there's the CMO. It creates that connection instantly. It creates a connection of, okay, these people, they're obviously creative, they're business minded, they're focused, but they also have a sense of humor, and they can be human and make that connection with us. So that's really the job of the CMO, and making that connection with the employees. Everybody can get behind the CMO, and what's great about having a mask with gloves, and we have a whole bunch of them, is anybody can be the CMO. Anybody can be the CMO, and really, really help lead that, which helps create the culture for sure.
Yeah, and I think for Slingshot, it is very similar. When somebody is looking for a place of employment, first thing they're gonna do, they're gonna look at your website, then they're gonna look at your social media, and they're gonna see what are these. They're gonna try to figure out who you are. And I mean, they want to find stuff not about just what you do, right? They can find that out pretty easily on your website, but who you are is a little bit different. You have to show that. Like you said, you can't say, oh, we have a great culture, we believe in this. I mean, you can say that, but you got to show it. And I think finding a way to do that, that fits exactly who you are. It can't be a gimmick. It's got to be genuine. It's got to be, this is actually our people. We like doing this kind of stuff. And then, putting it out there, putting it on social media, not being afraid. I think there's, in business, there's maybe some fear of getting too unprofessional, so to speak, but at the end of the day, business is done with people. It's people to people. It's people talking to one another, and everybody wants to know that I spend a lot of my time here at work. I want to enjoy what I do. I want to work with genuine, real people, and so there's nothing wrong with showing that. And I think you can still do it. You can still be a serious company, but also say, hey, like you said, Craig, we still like to have fun. We have a sense of humor. We care about everybody. We're more than just a workplace.
Fellas, I can't help but think, the power of symbols and rituals, we know has existed for centuries. There's a reason why armies pin, blue ribbon and metal, shiny metals to the chests of soldiers. But now talk about video. Both of you seem to be really embracing the power of video in your storytelling in terms of communicating that culture. Craig and then David, how significant is video in this evolution?
Yeah, video is super important. In fact, I you know what, it's for me, it's first and foremost creating that connection with our employees. And I know most of my employees are on social media, some form of social media. So, what we have, 300-400 people, and they're sitting around the globe. And I can't speak to all of them one-on-one. And however, I can post a video and share the message about what we're doing, our culture, our strategy. This is new for us. This is what we're focusing on, and I can share those videos. And I know a lot of the staff see that, and which also helps create that connection, create that alignment that we're always trying to do, which in turn creates the culture. So video is super important, just as we are doing this today with you, Gary and David. So definitely very important for us.
Yeah, and I think, for us, the video, it's just, I feel like you can just capture so much more of that human element, and you can, photos are good too, but the video is just a whole nother level where you can really, somebody's talking, somebody's moving, you can see their body language. There's more there that you can connect to. And I think putting that out there is a great way for the company to express itself. And you can also, for us, we're a bit smaller. There's about 50 of us across the world, but we like, trying to get people included in the video as much as possible. Not everybody, there's definitely some camera fright, but in the end, there's some really simple ways to get people involved. And I think generally they enjoy it. They enjoy being in those videos. We had somebody recently who's like, man, I'm so excited to be in this first video. That's the whole reason I came here, is I watched all these. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so it's definitely just a fun way. Like I said, it doesn't have to be, I think you get people involved, a lot of people involved without being, this intimidating. Hey, there's going to be a camera in your face and then we're going to post it everywhere. There's little things you can do. But just, again, I think there's just it's so much easier to connect to a video. And also people are, people, that's the medium, that's the main thing I think people are consuming these days is video.
Absolutely. And just before we wrap up, I again, in the spirit of symbols and rituals, business people like to talk about results. Everyone's focused on results. So in your estimation, Craig and then David, let's follow the same pattern. How have symbols and rituals contributed in some tangible way to your business results, to making you become the heavyweight champions, metaphorically, in your category?
Yeah, you know what, Gary? I really look at our people, and David mentioned, we're just people, and we work with people, and this is what we do. And so when I look at the talent that we have at Raptor, it blows me away, and I think it's our symbols and our rituals that we have that attracts that talent, and it's one of those things where I'm blown away with that talent and those people that work for us here at Raptor, and it's awesome to interact with them, and truly I enjoy that, and that's definitely some of the benefits of that. And of course, in all of our industries we get our awards and different things like that, but we have a lot of patents and different things. However, it really gets back to the people. It's the people that creates our business. And I love to hire people that are way smarter than me and just let them go, and so definitely attracting that talent. Our symbols and rituals has definitely helped with that.
Yeah, and I think definitely the same for us. Attracting talent is just a huge part of it, because I think the best people in any industry, these are they want to be with a company that I think that's doing things a little differently, but also has that, they can connect with them, they can understand who they are. And I think when you're doing these videos and have these symbols, you're saying, I'm proud of who we are. Here it is. You're putting yourself out there. I don't just want to be average. I'm shouting it, and it's genuine, and you can see it. So definitely talent attraction is a huge part, and just enhancing the culture overall. Like, you do all this stuff. It's not about just having a simple ritual, but it's about doing it in everything you do throughout your company. It's how you operate. It's how you act. It's who you are. So it's all aligned. And like I said, it helps attract the talent. And it also, for us, bringing clients in a crowded market where there's so many competitors, immediately standing out and saying, "Whoa, what's going on with these guys? Maybe I should talk to them." And so we've definitely seen, some lead uptick, definitely since we've really kind of embraced this symbols, rituals, and video the last few years. And you sort of have a connection going in. They've seen some of these videos and they've seen the human nature of it, and they can immediately. And for us as consultants, it's really important that people, they have to feel, and tech consultants in particular, some people are intimidated by tech, but you have to be, you want to feel like you're approachable. You want to feel like the consultant you're dealing with understands you. You can talk to them very easily. And so just putting yourself out there with these symbols and rituals is huge.
So before we wrap up, gentlemen, in 15 seconds or less, what is your best advice for anyone watching? We never know who's watching here on Leaders and Legends, but in 15 seconds or less, what's your best advice for anyone, Craig and then David, who wants to use symbols and rituals to expand their digital footprint?
I would say hire Gare, and he can come in and teach you, right? There you go. No, there's a quick one for Gare. No, thank you, Gare, for everything you do. But just quickly for us, I mean, try it all, throw it out there, because you never know what's going to work. I mean, GSD for us and the Raptor CMO, these were things we tried and they kind of just sizzled and sat out there, and we didn't get those great reactions at first, and then after a while it just really hit hard and really became part of the culture, and so just try it all, just keep on trying and look, and you'll find something that works.
Yeah, and I would say look inwardly first. Find out about you personally and your employees and your company. Like, what are my core values? Start from there, and then say, okay, what can symbolize that? And then I think once you have something, don't be afraid to be bold. I think it's got to be bold. You don't want to be in that middle wishy-washy area. You got to be in the bold area where you're going to attract people. But then the other part is stick with it, because it does take. It's not, you've got to do it, but then there's a lot more behind it. You've got to create it. You've got to live it. You got to breathe it. You've got to create the content, and it does take a while. So you have to be a little bit patient. It's several months, if not a year-long process of just, you've got to lean into it. So give it a chance, but go for it. Go big.
Well, listen, gentlemen, it's been just a pleasure to have this conversation with you both. The two perspectives, hardware and software, from Edmonton, Alberta to Louisville, Kentucky. We thank David Galonia and Craig Harder from Slingshot and Raptor Mining for joining us. Who knows? Maybe symbols and rituals just might be the pot of gold that you discover at the end of your business rainbow. So on that note, we again thank David and Craig for joining us here on Leaders and Legends, where you never know who you're going to meet or what you'll discover.